Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
It is Eric, it's Jay, and that's right, it is now 2026, and we begin another Lemon season at Barber Motorsports Park, as we have for several years now. Before we talk about the race, we should mention that this October will be Lemon's 20th anniversary, and it's a pretty major landmark for us. And in that time, we'd like to think that the driving has gotten better, and we've all attained great personal growth, but some things remain constant. Like, numbers are hard.
Give me a thumbs up.
Barber is named for and built by George Barber, who unfortunately passed after we raced and before we started filming. He invited us. He was super friendly. For 13 years, we've been going to that track and crapping up his lovely motorsports facility. He even raced with us in 2017. Truly a gentleman, a huge figure. We're going to miss him.
Now, we don't really keep records for things like weather, but we are almost certain that this race, held in the middle of a polar vortex, was the coldest Lemons race of all time. All of Saturday was spent under freezing, and it didn't even get above freezing until like the last 3 hours of the race. So what happens when you race in extreme cold on a road course? Well, we had no idea before we showed up, and it turns out it's just kind of a race. Like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, it was cold, but Lemons racers are hardy people, as are the Lemons flaggers. And even our judging staff, myself being a Chicagoan, I was fine, but we had Judge Craig from South Carolina and Judge Kristen from Alabama, who were out of their element. Everybody withstood the weather well. It was great.
Yeah, less fun was actually being in the car. These things, they have no windows, there's no heaters, there's none of that. That was really miserable for a lot of drivers, but not the guys in the Cadillac ETC, because they didn't take out their heaters. That car was toasty AF. On the subject of toasty AF, we had the most populated Saturday night potluck probably ever, because it was held indoors and the heaters were on. Where else were you going to go?
We had some old teams bring new builds. We'll start with Shift Happens in their Toyota Camry. We'd seen them last year. They had pulled a Honda Accord out of the woods for like $200. And we figured that we would see them racing that car, but they found another $200 car. Guess what? They're out there, guys. And they just figured they'd cage it and race it. This is the proverbial grandmother's 280 horsepower Camry, ready to dominate on high performance tires.
Also new was Fear the Deer in their Volkswagen. They used to run a BMW, but one of the guys on this team literally married into the Waffle House family.
Oh, yo, Wallace! Yo, Wallace!
They had an old Golf race car, so they brought it to Lemons. And yes, that is Mike Pence sitting on the hood of the Golf in the Waffle House headquarters parking lot. How does this happen?
Hella sweet glue sticks from New Jersey reminded us aging male Lemons racers to go get regular prostate checks. Also hella sweet was this Dodge Daytona, which raced in the Dodge Celebrity Series in the 1980s.
This car was the one driven by Don Dokken, a f***ing Dokken fan, man.
We learned a couple of years ago that in the 1980s, Dodge spent $75,000 building each of these cars, and you can see the difference between winning and losing right here.
$500 my ass!
Well, actually, it's funny that you mention that, because we tried to put the Daytona into our upcoming Lemons video game release, and
$500 bias.
Hella sweet, this is the South, so you can't have a race there without a couple of these. Hey, we know what the word is.
Thunderbird.
And we, of course, had some perennial favorites like the Rougarou, the Futurama Civic, Gary the Snail, and a new one, this great product rollout from Skynet.
This is Coldest.
I want to give a shout out to the Van Halen guys. They brought their 78 Camaro in Van Halen guitar. Everybody knows that yellow thing, that's Van Halen, right?
I don't.
They have all this equipment, all these skills. They helped the Sparkle Rose Miata get their seat worked out. They helped other teams get their cages fixed. They were working harder on everybody else's teams than their own this year. Hella sweet.
We had another local Birmingham team with a 70 Chevy. That was this El Camino. Now, they missed racing on Saturday because one of the rear springs fell out on the racetrack and they couldn't get it back till the end of the day. They just kind of pushed it back in, or however you fix El Caminos, managed to race most of Sunday.
Duff Beer's Honda Civic, they had their alternator bolts back out in the middle of the race. It's kind of hard to get to, so, for a while they just ran with the alternator bouncing around inside the engine bay. You can do that, apparently. Equally classy, Island Time. They went into the wall. They spent pretty much the whole weekend trying to make their hood close again.
I shit you not have a Chevy Cobalt. They blew up 2 engines at their last race at Road Atlanta, and again on the test day blew up their 3rd motor at Barber in about 2 months. They borrowed a Subaru Forester. One more wrenching team, the Seductive Wombats, great team name by the way, their Mitsubishi Lancer showed up with a cage that unfortunately did not pass tech. They spent all of Friday night welding on it, redoing the entire cage, passed tech, made the green flag.
We had a couple of fires, and even though it was really cold, that wasn't good. Gator Racing and their Miata had a little wiring fire, and the Daisy Dukes and their Porsche, they had a little fire that turned into kind of a big fire. Everybody was fine.
All right, here are your class winners. Your Class B winner was Team Achy Breaky and their Ford Escort, which I am obligated to mention because of a medical condition that causes me to love Ford Escorts. It is incurable.
Class C was won by In Search of Excellence. It was an Edsel. Well, they had an Edsel. A barn fell on it. They took the body, put it on a Crown Vic, drove it around, won Class C. What do you want? It's an Edsel. It's awesome.
Moving on to the trophies, we'll start with Heroic Fix, which went to Rust Cartel. Now, they retired their Ford Fairlane police car after Summit Point, and they were already at that time years into working their next car, an Alfa Romeo GT-V6, and it is exactly the one you want. It has 3-liter Busso out of a 164. That's pretty much all you need, actually. Now, Rust Cartel are not exactly experts with Alfa Romeos, and the GT-V6 wasn't exactly ready for the race, but they threw it in the trailer, towed it across like 7 states anyway from Virginia. As of BS inspection on Friday, it had only started twice, one of them in BS inspection, and had not moved at all. Now, luckily, they had come across some guy on the internet named Wes Conklin, and old school West Coast Lemons racers will remember Wes as the guy who raced GT-V6s in Lemons for a decade. And Wes gave them all kinds of tips before the race, and then was around for tech support on the phone all weekend. With that bit of phone encouragement and a few trips to the parts store, more on that later, they managed to make the glorious Alpha live and turned a few laps Sunday, and as Dan from Rust Cartel says, with that sound, you just want to keep making more of it.
The I Got Screwed trophy went to Event Horizon and their Plymouth Horizon. These guys are from Texas. Team Captain Lee towed all the way out to Barber. Now, these cars originally came with a Volkswagen motor, and Lee has run through a bunch of those motors, kind of blowing them up on the way up to a GTI motor. Hey, how could that be terrible? Lee had already reached out and said, hey, this 3rd GTI motor is probably also going to blow up. That is exactly what it did during the test day. So he pulled out the old reliable 8-valve iron block that always gets this car over the finish line, put it in. Well, that also blew up. And while he was taking all that stuff out on Saturday in 25-degree weather, the clutch disc fell right out of the car, landed on his face, and broke his nose. So he spent all day Saturday in the emergency room. So he got screwed, but the good news is he got a crappy $20 trophy and 3 blown-up blocks to carry home.
Special trophy for this race was Built Kinda Tough, and it went to the Opel GT of Fopel, America. Now, this is a car we saw like 2 years ago. It ran 2 laps and went home early before we could give it a trophy. It looks like it has been built in a shop where there are only 2 kinds of tools, cutting implements and hammers. They originally were running RX-7 suspension. This time they put Miata front and rear subframes in it. It has a Ford 2.3-liter turbo engine from a Thunderbird. a Ford Ranger transmission, a Jeep Wrangler radiator, 4Runner brake calipers, and Honda brake rotors. Since it's roughly half Ford and it looks like a Temu Shelby Daytona coupe if you've had 15 or 25 beers, we decided it deserved a Ford-themed trophy, so therefore built kinda tough.
Judge's choice went to More Right Rudder and their Volkswagen Passat diesel. This was a rookie team and they just get it. However, we gotta say, first of all, the team captain for a living breeds cockroaches. That's a job. And on top of their car, they had a female cockroach sculpture. How do you know it's female? Well, if you're gonna breed cockroaches, you gotta know that sort of thing. Now, they ran out of time for the male cockroach sculpture, thank God. However, they also brought for the judges a special penalty option of a box of live cockroaches. The judges said, oh, that's good, thanks, I guess. Anyway, great concept, great team. They deserve the trophy.
Organizer's choice went to Rudolph's Revenge and their Jetta TDI, which gives a double win for diesel Volkswagens at this race. Team Captain Rick is a scout leader who brought his troop of Trail Life USA, which is like a Christian version of Boy Scouts, to do a whole color guard and repeat the pledge, next to Ricky Bobby rolling around on the ground shirtless during BS inspection, of course. Anyway, Rick owns, as you usually do, 6 of these Jettas, including the one he races, and as usual, he drove one of his parts cars to the racetrack. This time his race car ran perfectly fine, didn't need any parts from the parts car, so he was lending parts to various other teams with Volkswagens in the paddock. He then lent the entire parts car to the Alpha guys. They did not realize the parts car was a diesel. The gas tank was empty. They put gasoline in it. It was not going to move from there. They had it towed back to the paddock, absolutely mortified that they had ruined this guy's car. Rick just looked at it and said, oh yeah, this happens all the time. He purged it all. He had it running in like 5 minutes. It was no big deal. He was laughing the whole time. Lending your keys to somebody you've never met without getting a phone number, that is the most Lemons thing I can think of. These guys are awesome. Organizer's choice.
Halloween meets gasoline for the best theme of the weekend went to Maverick Bobby, and naturally their Ricky Bobby theme. We see a lot of these, but these guys owned it. They were in character when nobody was looking all weekend long. Their youngest member, Devin, he was rolling around on the ground in his underwear, as one does. Side note, his dad, they left tickets for him at the front gate. His dad picked him up and scalped him. Welcome to Lemons. Anyway, this car almost won both HMG and the overall, which is really hard to do. Now, they ran into a little trouble on Sunday with some black flags. They wound up having to come back in and talk to the judges, who decided to trot out the cockroaches and do the sex the cockroaches. By the way, that means tell the males from the females, not what you're thinking, you pervert. So they didn't win overall, but they were awesome.
Index of affluency for the worst car that does the best went to Battle Cat Racing and their Jaguar XJR. Now, this is one of those confluences of great team and excellent, terrible car in Lemons. It's a big team in Georgia. They bring the whole family. They do a Chicago Bears theme every year. This year, they presented us with a gift, and then they did the entire Super Bowl shuffle.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffle on down.
That's all awesome to begin with. The car is a supercharged 4-liter Jaguar 6, the very last of the Jaguar 6s actually, which retailed for $67,000 in 1997. That's like $130 today. And further, they sold fewer than 2,000 of these in the United States.
Why you lazy?
When we saw this team last in 2025, their engine had overheated and scored one of the cylinders. It was completely a junk motor. They had no hope whatsoever of finding another one until 2 weeks before Christmas. One of them showed up at a junkyard just down the road from them. They went and got one of these 1 of 2,000 motors, threw it in, drove their 4,100-pound Jaguar around the track all weekend and finished in the top half of the field. That is how you do Index of Affluency, and here is Lemons in a nutshell.
Yeah, the press is on fire. Like Marty McFly hit 85 miles per hour right at the end of the straightaway.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
Every second you don't subscribe, or watch one of these videos, another Vega is sent to the crusher. Won't you help us save Classic?